The forbidden river. The goddesses had warned them. For many years, the village elders told the same story. The river in the valley was cursed. It was not a place for people. It belonged to the goddess of the waters, Umiri the Wicked. Those who went near it were never seen again. Some believed she was angry at humans. Others said she was forgotten, her power growing darker with time. She was always hungry for more souls. But Lyra did not believe in the old stories. They only say these things to scare us, she said as she stood at the river's edge. The water shimmered strangely, like it was whispering. The village people never came close. The warnings were passed down like prayers. But Lyra was not afraid. She liked to explore. She liked danger. That night, when no one was watching, she stepped into the water. The moment her foot touched it, the air around her changed. The river, once quiet, started to move in strange patterns. The wind grew thick, heavy with whispers. "Foolish child," a voice said. "You were warned." Lyra gasped. The water turned black. A figure rose from the depths as if the river had given her life. Umiri. Her long dark hair floated like ink in the water. Her pale skin shined under the moonlight. Her eyes, deep, empty pools, held faces inside them. The faces of the lost. The air around her was ice cold. Lyra felt frozen in place. She tried to move, but she could not. The river held her tight. "You do not fear the warnings." Umiri's voice was soft, but it echoed in Lyra's bones. "You believe you are stronger than the gods?" I didn't know," Lyra stammered. But the river suddenly churned, and 1,000 voices cried out, screaming, pleading, voices of the ones taken before her. She felt something grab her ankle. Then another. Cold, slimy hands wrapped around her legs. Shadows swirled under the water, faces of the drowned. Their eyes empty, their mouths open in silent screams. Fear gripped Lyra's heart. She struggled, but the river was too strong. "Umiri, please," she cried. "I didn't mean..." The goddess tilted her head, watching her closely. Then slowly she smiled, a cruel, knowing smile. "They all say that?" The water rose, twisting around Lyra's wrists, pulling her down. The cold bit into her skin. She fought, kicked and thrashed, but it was useless. The goddess was stronger. In the distance, the village bell rang, a warning. Someone had seen her, but no one could save her now. Lyra's last breath left her lips in a scream as the river swallowed her whole. But she did not die. She fell deeper and deeper, past the world she had known, into a place beyond life. The riverbed was not dirt and stone. It was a dark kingdom filled with lost souls. Spirits drifted around her. Their whispers were endless, their eyes empty, their hands reaching. And in the center of it all, sitting on a throne made of water, was Umiri. "You belong to me now," the goddess whispered. "You wanted to know my secrets. Now you will become part." Lyra tried to scream, but water filled her lungs. Her body was no longer sinking, no longer struggling. She was changing, becoming something else. When the river stilled, it was as if she had never existed. The village cried for her, but no one dared go near the water. They knew better. The goddess had spoken. The warning had been given. And now the river had claimed another soul. But on some nights, when the moon was high and the air was still, the villagers swore they could hear a voice near the river, calling, crying, warning the next fool who dared to cross Umiri's waters. The villagers stayed away from the river after Lyra's disappearance. Fear gripped them tighter than ever before. No one dared speak her name at night, for fear that the wind would carry it to Umiri's ears. They heard the whispers, the soft cries that echoed from the water. Some claimed they saw a figure standing in the mist near the river's edge, watching, waiting. Weeks passed, then months. The village moved on, as it always did. But not everyone forgot. Kai, Lyra's younger brother, refused to believe she was truly gone. He had heard the stories, but he could not accept them. He still dreamed of her, still felt her presence in the wind. He knew deep down that she was calling to him. One evening, he stood at the riverbank. The same place where Lyra had last been seen. The water was calm, but something about it felt alive, as if it were breathing. The reeds swayed, though there was no wind. The air was heavy with silence. "Lyra," Kai whispered. "Are you here?" At first, there was nothing. Then a ripple spread across the surface. The water darkened, shadows twisting beneath the waves. A voice, faint and broken, rose from the depths. "Kai, leave, go." His heart pounded. He knew that voice. It was Lyra. "I won't leave you," he shouted. "Tell me where you are. I'll save you." Silence. Then the river churned violently. From its depths, a hand broke the surface. A pale, trembling hand. Kai ran forward without thinking, grabbing hold of it. The moment his fingers wrapped around the cold, wet skin, he felt it. A terrible force pulling him down. The river swirled around him, dragging him closer, whispering in a language he did not understand. "Kai!" Lyra's voice screamed. "Let go!" But it was too late. The water swallowed him whole. Darkness, cold, silence. Kai opened his eyes. He was no longer in the village. He was somewhere else, somewhere deep beneath the river. The world around him was dim, filled with shifting shadows and lost souls. The drowned wandered in silence, their eyes empty, their movements slow. And standing among them was Lyra. But she was no longer the sister he knew. Her skin was pale as the moon, her hair floating as if carried by an unseen current. Her eyes, once bright, were now black pools filled with sorrow. "Kai," she whispered, her voice shaking. "Why did you come?" "I came to save you," he said, stepping toward her. She shook her head. "There is no saving me." Kai looked around at the other lost souls. The weight of their sadness pressed against him. He felt the pull of the river, stronger now, clawing at his heart. "You must leave," Lyra pleaded, "before she finds you." A chill ran down Kai's spine. He turned slowly. In the distance, sitting upon her throne of water and shadows, was Umiri, her glowing eyes locked onto him. She smiled a slow, knowing smile. "I have waited for you, little one," she said. The river surged around Kai, hands reaching for him, pulling him deeper. And then everything went dark. Kai awoke in a place unlike anything he had ever seen. The riverbed stretched endlessly, filled with whispering spirits that swayed like reeds in the current. The water was thick, heavy like liquid shadow, yet he could breathe. The drowned souls drifted past him, their eyes hollow, their mouths opening and closing in silent pleas for help. The weight of the place pressed down on him, a suffocating sadness that seeped into his bones. Lyra stood beside him, watching him with mournful eyes. "You shouldn't have come." "I had to," Kai insisted. "You're my sister. I couldn't leave you here." Lyra turned away. "This is no place for the living. You must go back." "How?" Kai asked. "I don't know how to leave." A dark shadow loomed in the distance. It grew larger, twisting, taking form. Umiri, her long, flowing hair merged with the water, her sharp eyes gleaming as she stepped closer. "Foolish boy," she said, her voice smooth and cold. "You belong to me now, just as she does, just as they all do." Kai clenched his fists. "No, I will not stay here. I will not become one of your lost souls." Umiri laughed, a sound like waves crashing against jagged rocks. "Do you think you have a choice? No one leaves my domain." Kai looked at Lyra, desperation in his eyes. "There must be a way." Lyra hesitated. For a moment, something flickered in her gaze. Hope, or maybe regret. "There is a way, but it is dangerous." "Tell me!" Lyra glanced at Umiri, who was watching them with amused curiosity. "The river has a heart, a place where its power is strongest. If you can reach it, if you can break its hold, you might be able to return." Kai nodded. "Then take me there." Umiri's smile faded. "You dare defy me?" The water around them surged, turning violent. "I will not allow it." She raised her hand and the river obeyed. The souls of the drowned shrieked as they lunged toward Kai, their fingers clawing, their eyes empty voids. He dodged, pushing forward through the thick water, following Lyra as she led him deeper into the river's depths. The current fought against him. It whispered to him, tried to pull him down. He could feel the sorrow of every soul trapped in its waters, could feel their pain. His limbs ached, his mind swayed, but he did not stop. Finally they reached it, the heart of the river, a swirling vortex of darkness pulsing with an ancient power. "You must break it," Lyra shouted. "But be careful, the river will not let go without a fight." Kai took a deep breath. He reached out, placing his hands on the swirling mass of energy. It was cold, colder than anything he had ever felt. Pain shot through him. The river screamed. The shadows around him twisted and writhed. Umiri's voice roared in his ears. "You will regret this." With all his strength, Kai pushed. A blinding light exploded from the heart of the river. The darkness cracked, shattered. The water trembled, the souls cried out. The force of it all knocked Kai backward, his vision fading, his body weightless. And then silence. Kai awoke on the riverbank, gasping for air. The sky was dark, the village in the distance untouched. He was back, but Lyra was not with him. The river was calm once more, its surface smooth as glass. The whispers were gone, but somewhere, deep beneath the water, he knew she was still there. And Umiri was watching. Many years passed under the dark waters. Kai and Lyra had lost track of time. They were trapped, forced to serve Umiri, the river goddess. Other lost souls drifted around them, empty and silent. But Kai and Lyra never gave up. They held on to their memories, their love for home and their hope. Umiri watched them. At first she found them amusing. Then she became curious. One day she called them to her. "You are different," she said. "Most souls forget who they are, but you refuse to let go." Kai and Lyra said nothing. "I will make you a deal," Umiri said. "I will give you 3 tasks. If you complete them, I will set you free. If you fail, you will stay here forever." They had no choice. They agreed. The first task was to calm the lost souls. For years, the drowned had known only sadness. They wandered, trapped in sorrow. Umiri told Kai and Lyra to bring them peace. At first, they did not know how. The souls did not speak, did not listen. But Lyra remembered something, stories. Stories had helped her and Kai survive. So they told the lost soul stories of the world above, of sunlight and laughter, of family and love. Slowly, the souls listened. Their sadness faded. The river, once filled with weeping, grew quiet. The first task was complete. The second task was to find the heartstone of the river. Umiri had hidden her power deep below, in a cave guarded by water serpents. No one had ever dared enter. Kai and Lyra swam into the darkness. The water grew colder. The serpents circled them, their glowing eyes watching. Kai held back, but Lyra stepped forward. "We do not want to steal the power," she said, "only to prove we are worthy of freedom." The serpents hissed but did not attack. Lyra touched the heartstone. It pulsed, then dimmed. The cave trembled, but the serpents moved aside, letting them pass. They brought the heartstone to Umiri, and she smiled. "You have done well," she said. "One task remains." The last task was the hardest. Umiri led them to the edge of the river, where the world of the living was close. Then she spoke. "One of you may leave," she said. "The other must stay." Kai and Lyra froze. "No," Lyra said. "We both leave or we both stay." Umiri's eyes darkened. "That is not my offer." Kai clenched his fists. "We did everything you asked. We earned our freedom." Umiri did not speak, but the river stirred. The souls they had saved began to whisper, then shout. "They have earned their freedom," the souls cried. "Let them go." The water trembled. The river, once under Umiri's full control, now rebelled. Umiri stared at the churning water. Then she laughed. "Very well," she said. "You have changed the river. You have changed me." She lifted her hand, and the water around them shimmered. The weight that held them down lifted. Kai and Lyra felt themselves rising, higher and higher toward the light. They awoke on the riverbank, the sun warm on their skin. Their village stood in the distance, just as it had before. They were free, but the river was different. No more whispers, no more sorrow. It was calm and peaceful. Umiri was gone. Maybe she had returned to the deep. Maybe she had left forever. No one knew. But Kai and Lyra never forgot her. And they never forgot the river that had once been their prison. For now, it was their home.